to another episode of Disqualified. I am your NXT Predictions Champion, Trevin, joined as always by our main roster predictions champion, Caleb.
Hola.
And Zach, our cameraman, is behind the camera.
Oh, he's picked up his belt. Address him.
Physical proof?
He is technically Chop Champion if we ever decide to revive that circuit. Or turn that circuit into something else.
The ultimate belt of yellow running from the smoke.
I can think of something that belt can be on the line for. I can think of something.
Okay.
I want to add some games to this channel.
Okay.
It could be the game champion.
Yes. Speaking of games, we are here to talk about NXT. And I say speaking of games because we misunderstood someone's game in the opening of this show.
Yeah, misunderstood game. Also, like, this show was just good. Like, 2 back-to-back shows that were good.
Yeah, no.
Last week was so shit. It ends great. And now we get 2 back-to-back good shows. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Something bad is going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, don't worry. We still have Saturday main event.
That's
No.
in... what?
That's in July.
That's like a month away, I think.
Yeah.
Like an exact month. Like 4 weeks.
Either SmackDown's gonna be that third goofy head of part of that meme, or they just smoked some funky crack this week.
Well, we don't want to watch Evolve, so we can't tell there.
It's not that... Well... It's funny because I'm going to say I don't have Tubi, but Tubi's free, so I can't even make that excuse. I just don't want to watch it.
Yeah, they have given us nothing of substance yet, but we do see
That's LFG.
Substance.
That's LFG, yes.
yes.
LFG gives us the substance because, you know, last week we had Tyra May Steele.
Mm-hmm.
And this week we get his second match.
Jasper Troy,
Yeah.
and the game we misunderstood is that the show opens, Oba's walking all confident, and all of a sudden, man gets hucked onto a car.
Yeah, it's so funny because I saw the 2 cars driving past. I was like, I always wonder what people driving past have to think. They just saw a man chokeslam another man onto the windshield of a car.
And they are like twice the size of the average man, each.
I wonder if they see the cameras. I mean, they have to see the cameras.
Yeah, and they're like, probably some TV show, but
What the fuck?
yeah. Because that was our reaction as people who signed up to watch this. What the?
Hell of a fight scene.
Man, that is probably one of the best hoss fights I have seen in a while. In the immortal words of Big E, when we get to this match, it is big meaty meat. Sorry.
Yeah, but on to a smaller division.
Onto medium to small men slapping meat. That just sounds weirder.
Yeah.
But it is Ethan Page, your NXT North American Champion, versus Shawn Legacy for the NXT North American Championship.
Yep. Shawn Legacy of the Evolve brand fame. He has been on our screens for a fat minute, and we love when he is.
And this match cooked.
Yep. Just bump Shawn Legacy onto NXT. He's built his name enough.
I think he might become the first ID prospect to cross the line.
Yeah.
I can't remember if someone that we see later on tonight in the match is an ID prospect or not.
I forget too. I should have looked that up before I wrote her name.
Because I'm forgetting where she came from, but
Yeah.
she performed really well.
Yeah.
But that's not about her yet. It is about Shawn Legacy, and this man. Yeah, I agree with Trevin. Bump him up already. He is ready for it. He gets the crowd interacting.
Yes.
He has the flashy moves.
The crowd knows his name. People on the internet know his name.
There was also chants for him too.
Yes. It's like, this man is going places.
Yeah, but, you know, what I think was going to happen. Ethan wins. He
Yep.
retains.
Twisted grin for the 1, 2, 3. He's celebrating. He's smiling.
And then he's getting his ass whooped by Ricky Saints.
Yup.
Because this man comes in, and whoever taught this man how to brawl act, he needs to start teaching classes. Because it looked like he was whipping his ass legit.
Yeah, no. Later, we see in a segment that Ava scolds him because he is not medically cleared as his larynx is still injured, not fully recovered, and she's like, go home. You are not allowed in the building until your larynx is healed.
Yep. And he, because, his throat's hurt, he doesn't get a single word in. But, yeah. I want Ethan to move up to the main roster. I think he's ready for it. I also think Ricky's ready for it.
Yes.
So it's weird that they kept the title on him and that they're going with the Ricky storyline when I thought it was a perfect time to give it to Javon.
And call both up.
Call both up, leave that scene in the hands of Javon because I think Javon, it's not that he doesn't have the talent to go up to the main roster. I think he's going to sit in NXT for maybe 2 more years.
Yeah, because
I think they're going to give him the big one.
Yeah, he is young.
Yeah, he is 21.
Yes.
So if he goes up to the main roster at 23, that is perfectly fine.
Yep. You got to remember how young Orton was when he started getting all his accolades.
Orton won his championship at 24, I believe.
Yeah. So, like, when you think of how much online traction Javon has at 21.
And the crowd on SmackDown, they didn't know who he was. And at the end of that night,
they wanted more.
They wanted more. So
yes, it's like, man's got a career ahead of him.
He's got a career. And if it doesn't work out in WWE, go elsewhere.
Yep.
You got a whole career ahead of you.
Yep. He's made some appearances on TNA due to the crisscross. People would love him in TNA.
In AEW, when they did AEW Dark, he went there under his previous ring name, Jay Malachi. He was also in DPW, where he had his match with Lucky Ali, who is now Saquon Sugars. So, he has a whole career.
Yep.
I think he signed with WWE at 19.
Yep.
So, yeah, bro, him and Thea, I think are going to be some NXT mainstays for a little bit just because of how young they are.
Yeah.
Because I think Thea also just recently turned 21.
Yeah, but it's like when a homie's, I think, third match is answering an open challenge against Oba, that's a sign of confidence.
Yeah. Yeah, the sky's the limit for him. Yeah. I think they should have given the belt to him at Worlds Collide. Yeah. It would have been perfect. I mean, the real swerve would have been giving it to Laredo Kid.
Yeah.
That would have been the real swerve. And I kind of think I would have liked that.
Yeah, especially
just to be like, oh, okay, this is actually going to be a constant presence.
Yeah, because we have Trick as TNA champion, so it's like having like, for lack of a better term, crossing the streams champions would be good. But yeah, that was a decent spot for Javon, but I feel the sentiment of let them cook.
Yeah. You're not wasting his career.
No.
And it's also the same with Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown, with people saying that they're wasting his career. Like, no, he's young.
Yeah.
Granted, he's losing more than he is winning, and that's kind of irritating. It should be like 50-50.
Yeah.
Maybe 40-60. But like, he has a whole career ahead of him. In my head, he's next to get his hands on that U.S. championship.
Yeah.
I think it would be really interesting if he's the one to dethrone Jacob.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're going to do that. I don't know who dethrones Jacob, honestly. Like, that is going to be that is how they make a person.
Yes.
And I think in my head, you put that with Oba.
Yeah. But you gotta savor who dethrones Jacob. Like, Because that's the thing. Jacob's got internet traction. He's got the moveset. He has the match resume on WWE alone to be like, oh, this man's a beast. Like, people forget that the priority match for War Games that Jacob won was against Jey Uso.
Yep.
It's like, that's a nice addition to your resume right there.
Yeah, no, Jacob, he's also a future star. I see him, he's going to be a Royal Rumble winner. He is definitely going to be a Mania main eventer.
Yes.
He is definitely going to participate in an Elimination Chamber one of these days, and that will be amazing. Putting that man in a cage with 5 other dudes, just being like, all right, time to fuck shit up. Let's go. All gas, no brakes with it.
Yeah. No, it's like WW, like, if there's one thing
future
is bright.
The future is bright, and that's great.
Yes.
I think it is.
In terms of talent, it now depends on the people running said talent.
This is very reminiscent of when Seth won the Money in the Bank the first time. The feeling for me and the company of, okay, the older guard is now reaching the end.
Yes.
And like you had Cena getting like, I think that was his 12th year in the company. Yeah, that was his 12th year in the company. So he was like kind of the middle ground stalwart. And then you had the up and comers. You had Dean, Seth, Roman. You had the Usos who were established. You had Kofi. You had all these people still up and coming. And then, you know, as every roster does, it gets stagnant because, you know, these are all good hands. Why get rid of them?
Mm-hmm.
So we keep around the majority, and now we're getting all this new influx of really good talent because they finally nailed down what they want NXT to be.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really nailing down what they want their indie talent to be.
Yeah.
And it is just skyrocketing.
Yes, no, like I feel like with the NXT roster, I feel like if they were to return those Brand Wars matches that Survivor Series used to have, NXT has a chance of taking it.
Yeah. I mean, the first time they did it, they swept.
Yeah. Not a single person was eliminated.
Yeah. NXT just killed it, dude. NXT killed it. That might be the pilot for that series I'm thinking about.
Yeah. But enough of gushing over.
Enough gushing.
Yeah.
We actually need to move on. So, we are moving on to the Culling versus Briggs and Inumura.
Yup.
Now, the Culling, you think would usually be represented by Nico Vance and Brooks Jensen. But he... No. Chair to the back last week. He is out.
Got kicked out. So the Calling is represented by the only 2 men in this group now of Sean Spears and Nico Vance.
Yep. And this match was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Wouldn't say it cooked, but it had its moments. Briggs, you know, a really reliable big guy down in NXT. And then you had Inumura, who is so quickly becoming a fan favorite.
Yeah. Give me more of him on my screen. I want to see more sumo. I want to see that man make those ropes bounce.
I'm kind of liking the progression of Nico Vance. Seems like every time he gets in the ring, he's getting it more and more, and it's becoming clearer to him, and it is working beautifully. And then you have Sean Spears, who is just a really good, reliable hand.
Yes.
You can't really say anything bad about his work.
No, yeah. That's the thing with NXT is that even the average stars, for lack of a better term, are still fun to watch.
Yeah. Even the people that we get from literally in the next match, we get someone who does not wrestle often on TV, and she was a highlight of the night. But I thought Jensen was going to make an appearance because he and Briggs were a tag team beforehand, but no.
Yeah. No.
The Calling does pick up the win.
Yep.
And then we see backstage Briggs is very, very pissed.
Yeah.
And Yumura's just like, it's a match.
Yeah.
He's like, we lost one match. I understand, but we lost one match.
Yeah, it's like we got a bright future looking ahead of us still, and then First Class comes in as like sort of poking the bear of like, you lost.
Yeah, and then we see he mentions First Class that consists of Casey Navarro in TNA and AJ Francis, who you might know as Top Dollar, who the internet knows as Flop Dollar. But I've always kind of liked his work. I think it was very funny when he did try to do that suicide dive. Because he kind of just tumbled out the ring, or the over the top rope dive, but it happens.
Yeah.
It was a great, entertaining moment, but he is really doing a lot of great work in TNA right now.
Yes. And speaking of TNA, Elijah comes in having, is still in a deep rivalry with Trick and these guys because of the scene on TNA. Is like, y'all need to stop instigating.
Yeah, he's like, because of you, the title isn't back in TNA. And he's like, it would have been nice to have it back in TNA.
Yeah. But this sets up a 6-man tag for next week with First Class and the TNA World Champion Trick Williams versus Josh Briggs, Yoshiki Yamura, and Elijah.
We are going to walk with Elijah next week. And you know who gets a glamorous walkout for the new entrance? Lash Legend, who is facing off against Ren Sinclair in this next match.
Yep. And, I say it every time.
I'm loving the presentation for Lash Legend.
Yes.
The only thing I can't get behind is the name. I just don't like the Lash Legend name. It's just weird.
Yeah.
I'm assuming Lash stands for something and it's shortened, but...
Yeah, but...
it's just weird to call someone
Lash.
with
Lash Legend on our screen, another question is brought up of, where's our Heritage Cup champion? Where's Dar?
Bro, they barely did any booking with Lexus King.
That's true.
What makes you think they're going to do booking with No Am Dar? Also, where is Lexus King?
That's also true.
Yeah.
Yeah, but her opponent is her opponent Ren Sinclair is a person I keep saying every time she is in a match and on our screens. Do it more.
Bro, Ren Sinclair. I didn't think this was actually going to be like that good of a matchup, but these two paired wonderfully together. Lash being the power, the base, and Ren somehow finding a way to out-wrestle her. Not in Lash's performance was bad. They both did great. They both did wonderful. Just the technique. She was literally out wrestling her. She took Lash down a few times, and I was like, what?
Yeah, no, Ren can go. Looking back at the it's not Iron Survivor. Is it Iron Survivor?
Yeah.
Iron Survivor at Deadline match she was in. It's like, Ren is a sleeper in this division on this roster.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, give us more of her so we can know what she can do.
Yeah. Yeah. Lash picks up the win. I don't know why I said not. Kalani Jordan does pull up ringside. And she says, if Lash wants to get in my business, I'll get in hers. She stays to commentary. She doesn't get involved physically at all. But Lash, I think, debuts a new finisher. It looked... The execution, I could see how it was meant to be.
Yeah, hang on. They have the official... It's a law name, but they have the official name on the website.
Yeah, so it was a good... the finisher's going to be great. It's like a... spinning... Or not spinning. It's
hit a tilt-a-whirl sidewalk slam.
Tilt-a-whirl sidewalk slam. It was just very entertaining to see. It's very interesting because you don't... I guess the Tour of the Islands? No, that's not a fall-away slam, really. I don't know. I just like the finisher. It looks interesting.
Yeah.
I just think it's going to look cleaner when you don't have a taller person coming off the top rope. Taking it, like if it was Kalani, I think it would have looked how it was supposed to.
Yeah.
But it was great. Lash picks up the win.
Yeah. And next up for our women's division is we need to figure out a name of a person.
We need to figure out who the Glamour is.
Yep.
And they talk about how the Glamour is a star. They're the only reason why the spotlight is a thing. And the Glamour is Mariah May of AEW, but she needs a new name. And the new name is Blake Monroe, Marilyn Monroe, obviously for the last name. Blake is her niece's name, and that it looks great on paper.
However,
the Cultaholic lads.
After some deep digging on the internet, I've discovered that name is already used
by a adult film actress.
Yeah, so we'll see if it gets addendumed, but
I think if they do change it, Mariah Monroe works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
That was just very funny to learn. It's not the first time it's happened. I mean, Sheamus and Drew, the Banger Bros.
Oh, no.
They were going to do a parody skit that got shut down. If you don't know what that is, good. You don't need to look it up.
Don't do that to your search history.
Yeah. But, it's not the first time it's happened, and I'm sure it won't be the last. It's always funny when it happens.
So the hot star in the women's division just got renamed, so now it's time to see what's going on in the women's world title division.
So JC Jane is back in the GM's office with Ava and the rest of Fatal Influence, of course. And she said, it would have been nice as your new NXT Women's Champion to know about the new big signing. We should build a rapport.
Yeah, you started doing it when Fallon was NA champion, then she fumbled that bag. So we started losing connection, started losing contact a little bit, but now as I'm your women's NXT world champion again, we should probably start rebuilding that. And it's like, that's a decent point.
Ava's rolling her eyes the whole time, which I found hilarious.
Yes, it's like, JC does bring up a decent point, and Ava sort of agrees. You're like, you know what? You're kind of right. Sorry about that. And in walks in one Lainey Reed.
Yes. So this is the woman. Forgive us that we can't remember if she is a ID prospect or
officially NXT.
Officially NXT. I can't remember. I honestly, you could not even give me a hint and I would remember. It's kind of, I feel bad.
Yeah, she came out of nowhere last week, so maybe she's an ID, but...
She is a former rodeo champion. Mm-hmm. They did announce in her vignette before her match. She comes in and slaps JC Jane.
Yep. And then JC's like, oh, I see. You're trying to pull a page out of my book. Well, guess what? It ain't gonna work. I'm not that easily aggravated. And
all right, well then, it's worth another shot. Bop!
Yep. She's like, I got nothing to lose then.
And then JC's like, make the match tonight.
Yep, so it's like one smack wasn't enough. But 2 smacks apparently is too much.
Lainey Reed's outfit, her entrance gear. Did you see the entrance gear?
I did not.
She had a jacket that had like flowy sleeves, and it reminded me kind of a 3D era Melina attire.
Oh, I know what you're kind of talking about. Yeah.
It looked very cool. I was like, that is very distinct. The only thing that I did not like, both people were wearing the exact same colors.
Black and red.
And here's the thing. Damn near the same shade of red.
But to no surprise, as this was very impromptu,
JC picks up the win.
Yep.
Laney puts in a fucking hell of an effort.
Yes. No. This match very good, despite how we feel about JC's all of a sudden title win, and
Fallon.
Yeah, Laney being a newer name to us. This match cooked.
Fallon pulling off the ultimate help. She got up, screamed, threw Laney off. And then JC pulls out Laney, and Laney's head, kind of just snaps off the rope. Did you see it?
Yeah.
It just went.
Yup.
And I was like,
ow.
I was like, we just witnessed a murder. And then she got hit with
Fatal's in their name for a reason.
And then she got hit with a rolling encore, and I said, a double homicide? On the same person?
And no one goes to check her pulse after the 1, 2, 3, as your general manager Ava is on the mic in the, pavilion terrace, whatever you want to call it, balcony.
It's a terrace. And she announces, while Trevin does look up the participants of this tournament.
I got him.
Okay,
yeah.
So it is a tournament that is happening all next week, with the finals happening
on the 24th.
On the
2
24th,
weeks.
in 2 weeks.
Yep. So we get all 4 of these matches next week, and then the Fatal 4-Way Finals.
Yep, and then we get a promo segment with them probably the week in between. But this all culminates in a women's title match, NXT women's title match, at Evolution.
Yup. Which was shocking, as, the Great American Bash is the same weekend, but they're like, no, all women's card, probably every world titles, including the NXT brand's world title, are going to be repped on Evolution.
Uh-huh.
Which is sick.
50-50 we get speed title?
If we get the speed title on Evolution, I will cry. Because that means...
Do we just get a speed match in the middle of it? I think that if they could work out the deal, that would be the best way to get people to see what the speed division is, because people aren't going to just randomly watch wrestling on Twitter. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm not just going to watch wrestling on Twitter.
Every speed match I've seen has been through TikTok, as I am not on Twitter. And scrolling through TikTok, I'm like, sure, I'll watch a wrestling match.
Yeah. But, who are those participants, Trevin?
So, in match uno, we have Lash Legend versus Kalani Jordan.
That's going to cook.
Match dos, we have Zaraya versus Izzy Dame.
Gonna cook, and it's Zarya.
Sorry.
You're good.
Match tres, we have Thea Hale versus Jada Parker.
Ooh!
And the final match cuatro, we have Lola Vice versus Jordan Grace. These are qualifiers?
This is how a fucking tournament should go.
These are qualifiers?
All hits, no misses.
All gas, no breaks.
Literally, all of these qualifiers are going to cook. And that's all in one night? One night. We get 4 great matches in one night.
What are the men going to do on this episode?
6-man tag?
Oh,
That's it.
That's probably all the time we got.
Because you got fitted 4 women's matches that you know you're going to want to give time to, because this is showcasing the new brand of women talent. The only person that's not going to be there in this current grouping is Jordan Grace. As soon as the draft comes, she's gone.
Yes.
But this is showcasing the new crop of women's talent.
And then 4 of these women are going to squabble at the same time in the Fatal 4-Way.
All right. Who do you think's winning in all 4 matches? I think Lash advances.
Zarya definitely over Izzy.
Uh-huh.
I don't know with Thea versus Jada. I'm leaning more towards Jada, but I see them wanting to build Thea.
Mm-hmm.
And same with Lola. because you had her on AAA, so you're trying to build her repertoire, but Jordan Grace is, you want to build her up if you're gonna speed call her to main roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, dang. Yeah, no. Even Lash versus Kalani is a 50-50 for me.
I think it's Lash.
Yeah. It's like the only one I am for.
She's the new big threat in the women's division.
Yeah. The only one I know for sure is Zarya going over Izzy. Like the rest are, I'd be happy either way.
The only way that Zarya doesn't go over is if Tatum interferes.
Yeah, that's true. I forget they're building that up.
Yeah, I think that's the only way, because they even mentioned in the vignette or the little promo segment beforehand, Izzy has her eye on something.
Yeah.
And Tatum on Twitter, I think the day of NXT, like I saw it on my lunch break at work, she poked out the holes of the Barbie doll. So I think that gimmick is dead. That character's dead. We're moving on to the culling, and I am scared that they're going to release one of my favorites, because 2 tag teams back to back, not a good sign.
No.
And she's really good in the ring, so it's stupid if they let her walk.
Please, don't let her walk.
But speaking of letting people walk, Charlie is a man of his word, and he finally comes to terms with his agreement, and he lets Miles walk.
Yep, he's like, you know what? Congrats on all your accolades. Congrats on beating me. Deal's a deal. You can go if you still wanna.
And Miles says, I'll thank you, Critter Crutch Crew is what made me into the man I am. And he leaves, he wishes them luck, and then Tavion says, it's my turn.
Yep.
I want to fight.
Yeah, well, first Javon's like, dang, one of your best dudes just dipped. Sort of accidentally instigating. But Tavion's like, you know what? My tag partner just dipped. I've done some solo work. I think it's my time to try to shine solo. And yeah,
Charlie just says no.
Yeah.
Charlie's like, no, you're not ready.
Yeah. I feel like this leads to the no quarter catch crew breakup, but it's like, if they do break up, I see where everyone can go post the breakup except for Charlie.
It depends on how much they want to factor in the Heritage Cup. They don't need a second mid-card belt.
No.
They really don't. It would be interesting to see it actually become something that everyone's fighting for. But yeah, Tavion, I could see going on to the NA scene.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him actually being an incredible threat. I think they keep Miles in the main event scene. I don't know where Charlie goes. Ren goes NA scene, women's side. Yeah, they're not going to get rid of him either. He's Regal's son. They're not going to get rid of Regal's son.
I mean, we do have rumors of...
He could be a call-up, and I wouldn't hate that call-up.
Yeah. And, yeah, he could be a call-up, and there are the... we are in the pre-production phases of NXT EU.
Yep.
So Charlie could get transferred there.
Yep. I'm worried because the last time they did NXT UK, it did well. It just died.
Yeah.
They did nothing with the championship. So Pete Dunne held it for about 600 days. Then Tyler Bate held it for about 300 days. And then Gunther held it for about 600 days. And then Ilya held it until...
They unified it.
Unified it with Braun. And that was about, let's say, like 170-something days.
Yeah.
So they just... And it's a shame because that belt...
It was a good-looking belt.
Yep, and then it's kind of the same with the women's side. They did Rhea held the belt, then Tony held the belt, then Alba held the belt, or Kaylee Ray held the belt, sorry. Then it went to Mako. Then it got unified with Mandy Rose. Yeah. Like, I'm just worried because the thing I worry about the most, and I kind of worry about it with NXT Mexico, is they're just going to poach the indie scene again. That's what they did with NXT UK. They poached the British indie scene. And it sucked for the British UK scene. I'll tell you that much. You lost Mark Coffey, Joe Coffey, Wolfgang, Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne. You lost Flash Morgan Webster, Ashton Smith, Trent Seven, Big Damo. There's a plethora of other people, but you lost a lot of good indie soldiers, and I just worry that they're going to poach more talent because they're poaching with their partners currently. Feels like talent poaching, but I'll allow it because I like this person.
Yeah, we get a couple audience shots of, AAA stars still making appearances post Worlds Collide.
El Hijo del Dr. Wagner, the third, Junior, even though technically he's the third.
Yeah.
Is there, and who's sitting next to him? None other than fan favorite, overnight sensation, Mr. Iguana!
Yeet.
My fucking boy.
And they're in the audience for a tag match between High Rise and The Family, represented by Luca and Tony.
And right before they go out, Luca gets a phone call saying, yeah, I'll handle it. No problem, boss. Tony walks up and he's like, who was that? What was that? And he's like, nothing. I was just taking care of business.
Yep.
And he goes, all right, well, you walk first then. And so Luca walks out. It was a pretty decent match.
Yeah. Family had the advantage for most of the match until, Tony's got his line and too many bonds. He's spread too thin as he hasn't finished business with Stacks yet.
Yep. Stacks comes out with the crowbar, goes to take Tony out. Tony sees, ducks, takes out Stacks. Luca, like an idiot, grabs the crowbar.
Yup.
He's trying to earn Tony's trust. And what does he do? Pick up the weapon.
Yep.
And Tony turns around and he's like, what are you doing? What was that? What were we going to do with the crowbar?
And that gives plentiful of time for High Rise to take advantage of the distraction.
Yep. And I believe it was Tyson DuPont was in the ring. He knocks Tony into Luca, takes him over to the corner, tag team finisher, and one, two, three. High Rise pick up the win.
Yep. And, Tony just doesn't know who to trust anymore.
Yeah, it's becoming very bad for Tony. Very bad.
He's like, the person who's trying to say you can trust me, you don't trust because of awkward situations. And your former second in command has got a hit on you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, your main event of the evening. Battle of the Monsters. It is your LFG Season 1 winner, Jasper Troy,
versus your
NXT champion, Alba Femi. Ho! Ho! Oh my fucking God!
Run it back!
Give me a 7.
Trevin was so disappointed with Monday's main event. This main event completely wiped that memory. He memory holed that match.
Run this match back!
So, just key spots, because go watch this match.
They broke the ring!
Nothing we can say will justify the match, so I'll give you key spots. Oba does his running hand chop on the apron. Jasper no-sells it, kicks Oba right in the face. We do get the middle turnbuckle snapping.
Because Jasper hucked Oba into it.
Strong Irish whip.
Oba throws Jasper through the barricade. And the thing you have to understand about NXT, they don't have a normal barricade. They have a small barricade.
That's reinforced.
It is reinforced through taping it onto the padding that prevents the wrestlers from landing on the cement. The padding went up.
Yeah. And then the only negative thing to say about this match happened. We get back in the ring. Fall from grace. One, two,
Ref
three.
says shoulder got up.
But there was no movement.
I feel like the shoulder, when you look back at the spot, Jasper was readjusting himself, and I think the ref saw the shoulder wasn't all the way down when he was adjusting his arm to look like he was still awake.
And, you know, they have to then run back the fall from grace. We get a better looking fall from grace the second time.
Yes.
The first one just looked like a spine buster.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Oba just survives.
Yes. It's like he grabs his title back, and the look of fear on this man's face when he realizes he's going to get better.
Big meaty man slapping meat.
Yes. He's like, this is the standard for the people coming in.
Yeah.
Like, this is Jasper's second match.
Business open.
Yup. Oba's like, I'm effed.
Yep. You know, it's open season on Oba Femi.
What Oba is getting written in right now is what I effing want for Gunther.
Hey, it could happen of who I think is going to comes back. I would not be mad at him winning King of the Ring.
No.
Because him and Gunther running that back, demon time. Demon time, I need it in my veins.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, Oba's like, this is this man's second match in NXT.
He's also rumored to be coming back sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
If you don't know who that is, that's the former NXT. That's the last NXT UK champion. Gonna have to do homework to get this research.
Yep. But yeah, no, the fear in Oba's eyes as the credits started rolling, he's just like, I need to go hit the gym. I need to do something, because my God. Like, you might have thought Moose was a decent challenge. Then Jasper Troy came. We had a ring-breaking spot, Oba having to pull everything out of his bag. It's like, it's the classic example of a champion's days are numbered. Like,
Zach, what would you rate this match?
6.
out of 5.
Yes. Out of 3.
Double the scale.
200%. So much extra credit. Much wow.
I think if I'm rating this, 4.95. Just the 0.5 knocked off for that awkward end.
Yeah.
But everything else in this match is cooked. It was great. Like, I wouldn't be upset if Jasper Troy wins the title.
Because
They made it believable.
you had all your chips on Wesley, and then this match happened, and you're like,
I've already played my hand. I'm regretting this. And I can't fold because then I forfeit. I'm fucked. Like Scoob, I'm fucked. But that is it for this episode of Disqualified. Now, that episode of NXT just Banger after banger after banger.
Oh,
2 for 2 this week. Let's see if they go 3 for 3 with shows we cover. With SmackDown, we'll get that to you on Saturday or Sunday. I want to get it up Saturday.
we recorded on Saturday.
We should get it out by Father's Day.
Yes, we should get it out by Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to all those with dads.
Nah. Nah, I can't. But be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring that bell 3 times when the match is over. And we shall see you next time. Peace.
Bye!